One of Queen Elizabeth's most important ceremonial functions is to formally open Parliament, which traditionally involves her wearing the glittering imperial state crown and ceremonial robes and travelling by coach to make a speech. However, this year the ceremony was scaled back due to the coronavirus pandemic, and today Her Majesty made the journey to the Palace of Westminster by car and wore a lilac day dress and hat. Attending the state opening of Parliament in London is an event in which her husband Prince Philip had been with her for decades. For this event, weeks after the Duke of Edinburgh's passing at 99, the Queen was accompanied by her son Prince Charles, as well as her daughter-in-law Camilla, the Duchess of Cornwall, who have been attending the event regularly since 2013. The 95-year-old monarch, in a lavender-coloured day dress and matching hat, rather than the full ceremonial dress and crown, majestically sat alone on a throne in the House of Lords. Her son and Camilla seated a few yards to her left. The imperial state crown, signifying the regalia of the head of state, was placed on a table next to her. Both Charles and Camilla have escorted the Queen to the formal ceremony before, but this event will take on a new significance, as it will clearly underline how the senior royals are stepping in to be alongside her at key moments in the wake of the Duke of Edinburgh's passing. A former senior aide at the palace previously told People magazine, "Her family will step up and be by her side. She will carry on. She understands that she has a job to do, and Philip would have wanted her to crack on. She did do so when he retired from public life." A close royal insider added, "She will never abdicate because of duty and honour, and public service is so deep in her, as it was for him." The state opening of Parliament is a key moment in the political and constitutional calendar, as it sees the sovereign, as head of state, outline the main legislation that the serving UK government, led by Prime Minister Boris Johnson, wishes to introduce over the coming months. As she set out the UK's government's priorities for the coming months in the 10-minute speech, she began by saying the administration's priority is to deliver a post-COVID recovery. "My government's priority is to deliver a national recovery from the pandemic that makes the United Kingdom stronger, healthier and more prosperous than before," she said in the speech. "To achieve this, my government will level up opportunities across all parts of the United Kingdom, supporting jobs, businesses and economic growth and addressing the impact of the pandemic on public services." The ceremonial occasion began with the arrival of the imperial state crown in its own royal car, which left Buckingham Palace at 11 a.m. local time. Accompanied by a lady-in-waiting, the Queen appeared in good health and spirits as she carried out her duty. The monarch arrived at the Houses of Parliament, entering through the Sovereign's entrance, for what the BBC said is the Queen's 67th state opening of Parliament. She walked through the Royal Gallery with 17 peers, who are unelected, and 17 members of Parliament, elected representatives, were seated on each side of the gallery to welcome her and her procession. Her son Charles held her hand as they walked slowly through the gallery, passing a portrait of the late Prince Philip to the House of Lords, where she sat on the throne to deliver the speech. Usually, the House of Lords is packed with politicians and diplomats, and the military line her route. But this year, the BBC notes that just 108 people attended the event. Members of Parliament and members of the House of Lords had to wear masks and have a negative COVID test beforehand. Charles and Camilla also wore masks throughout. Traditionally, the Queen wears the imperial state crown during the speech, but she has not done so since 2016 due to its heavy weight, 2 pounds and 5 ounces, and her advancing years. In 2019, she wore the lighter diamond diadem throughout the ceremony instead, which is the crown she usually wears to arrive for the occasion. The imperial state crown symbolises the monarch's sovereignty and is also worn at the end of the coronation ceremony. Today it was carried in front of her as she processed to her seat and placed on a cushion next to her during the speech. One of the most elaborate pieces of regalia, It is set with 2,868 diamonds, 17 sapphires, 11 emeralds, and 269 pearls. The crown travelled along with other regalia ahead of the Queen from Buckingham Palace by car, with a police escort before the ceremony. In 2013 BBC documentary The Coronation, the Queen spoke about wearing the crown, saying, "You can't look down to read the speech. You have to take the speech up, because if you did, your neck would break. It would fall off. So there are some disadvantages to crowns, but otherwise they're quite important things." It is not the first time the Queen has worn day dress for the state opening of Parliament. In 2017, she wore a blue outfit designed by Angela Kelly with a matching hat dotted with yellow flowers. This caused some amusement as she delivered her speech outlining the government's plans. As the UK prepared to leave the European Union, people compared her hat to its flag. Guy Verhofstadt, the European Parliament's chief negotiator on Brexit, posted on Twitter, "Clearly the EU still inspires some in the UK. However, Angela Kelly later noted in her 2019 book that the similarity was a coincidence."